I'm 34 weeks pregnant and I use the loo quite a lot because the baby pressed on my bladder. It's funny, this is my favourite place in the whole house. As a child, when I was growing up in Sudan, we never had toilets. We had to use pit latrines, and sometimes in the evening we had to go to the nearest forest. You wipe yourself with the hot stones or leaves.
I think it's a criminal waste of resources to purify water to a potable, drinkable standard, and then flush it down a toilet and take that waste, which is perfectly good and is the residue of all the food that you've eaten, and then send it out to the North Sea or Mogden Sewage Works. I mean, it's madness.
So here we are, this is our composting toilet. I think it came to about £4,500.
For people in the developing world, if I'm qualified to give any advice, I mean, the important thing is that people in the third world should not aspire solely to the type of lifestyle that we have in the developed world.
Tell that to somebody who's living in Eritrea who's got to carry water in their head for 3 miles.
Now, if you look at this stuff over here, you wouldn't think this. The point of this whole building is to pump shit. And what all this ironwork is saying is we're really proud of it.
It's amazing. What is it about the Victorian era that made people so visionary? And how come we haven't got grand plans like that anymore?
They were responding to a real problem, and the problem was that they'd grown so quickly and so fast. Many, many more people were flushing many more toilets, and more of their crap was coming together. The stink was so bad, it was called the Great Stink, so they really had to do it. But then they really knew how to get together and get things going. For them it was problem resolution. And obviously they did have a very different kind of attitude to the world, is that they were making it, whereas for us we've inherited all of this architecture and all the rest of it. We're like kids compared to them. They've built the house and we're just living in it.
It's quite sad at this day and age for people to still be, using outdoors toilets to go and relieve themselves. Britain had this kind of facility for the last 150 years, and it's appalling. It just makes me really angry that people cannot have toilets which we take for granted here.
We distribute to about 90 countries worldwide. And how many toilets do we make a week? About 20,000. So that's about 1 million a year. And our biggest single market in the export market is Nigeria. We sell more toilets to Nigeria than anywhere else in the world. The flushing toilet revolutionised health because it got sewage off the streets and got it safely underground away from harm's way. And it was the flushing toilet that did that. And the flushing toilet will help improve health conditions and the standard of living no matter where in the world they're used.
This is Kielder Water, and it's been here in this state for 26 years. It's a man-made lake. It's the last big reservoir to have been built in Britain in 1982, and it's notable that nothing of this scale has been built since. It contains 200 billion litres of water, and that is why we have such a plentiful supply here. But this isn't just something that's used for the water supply. This is something that people enjoy for all sorts of purposes. There are lodges here, There's a bird of prey centre here, people horse ride here, they walk here, people come on the lake and enjoy it as a resource. All sorts of benefits that people weren't thinking of when this thing was first built. When they actually went for something of this scale, they were thinking of the industrial needs of the region. But there are funny outcomes. You never know what's going to happen when you do something big like this. And what we've ended up with is something that provides plentiful water for a whole region, and it's something that we all appreciate.
It's amazing that we can provide this fantastic natural environment for birds, but we can't bring this kind of water handling and management to people in the third world. Such a pity. Africa really needs that kind of stuff. I think the reason people are so fearful of a general rise of living standards in the south is that they've lost sight of what productive technique can do for us all, could do for continents like Africa. And all they see is a finite landmass and an increasing number of people. Now, you and I know that the ingenuity of China and India, the natural resources of Africa, are a formidable combination, and if it wasn't for a whole number of historical developments which made the West want to preserve its advantage over these places, it would be much easier, it would already have happened in fact, that major continents had joined us in the pantheon of developed countries. We've got so much to gain from their development, and only a few stingy know-nothings in the metropolises of the West would want to and seek today actively to deny to the third world what is their birthright.
Yeah, I think people in developing countries should aspire to lots of things. You know, even if it's swimming pools and jacuzzis, but obviously with the current water shortage on the planet, you know, maybe it's not the best idea.
And you can't have everyone having a jacuzzi and a swimming pool. There just wouldn't any water left at all if we're not careful. So definitely boreholes and hand pumps are a good thing.
Well, people say that, you know, this is waste of water and we're denying people water by having, you know, baths and, you know, having all this, but I don't think so, because there is enough water.
The good thing about water as a resource is that it can never run out. I mean, here we are sitting on this wonderful blue planet, 2/3 of which is covered with water. It evaporates, it falls back to the earth. It goes into the ground, we draw it up, it evaporates, it comes back to earth. That's the hydrological cycle. There's never any more or any less water on this earth. And that's one of the things why actually there's no excuse for there being water scarcity anywhere in the world.
I think the solution to these problems lies with power stations and desalination plants, with genuine human innovation on a large scale, not in everybody behaving like monks in their own home. It just won't do. There's bigger things in life.
People do say that these sorts of things are very costly, providing plentiful water is costly, but it really depends on what you value. If you value people, if you value people's quality of life, then why would you think of something like water and our use of water as too costly?
Well, being a man, what can I say? It's quite rewarding just, you know, looking at this little person we just brought to the world. This is great. I love swimming pools. It's just absolute heaven. Now that I've learned to swim at my old age, you know, everybody should have this.
Today, perhaps for the first time in history, well, it is for the first time in history, we have the technology and the capability to provide good quality water and plentiful supply to every person on this planet.
When I've heard about people who argue that we should use less water and conserve these, you know, it's not even money that's stopping development anymore, it's ideas and organizations telling us that we need to consume less and we don't need what the West have. I think the West should wake up, that we should start thinking about, serious development and serious programs about infrastructure, building sewage system, building proper water reservoirs, and that's the only way forward.